Airport, not Frankfurt Hahn this
Come
time,
on.
but Frankfurt Airport with
Come on,
Sim. Come on, Sim. Talk to
Big
me
up,
about
Sim.
last night. Talk to me about the atmosphere. Talk to me about how it was being in that stadium last night.
Oh, it was phenomenal. It was absolutely phenomenal. What a night it was last night. The whole day was, building up to it. A bit of trepidation, I think it's fair to say. No one was really expecting much. I think we were all there just for like the day out because we thought this could be the end of our season, let's be honest. And no one really expected us to like actually pull off the performance, especially the kind of performance we got. You kind of would have been less surprised maybe if like it just clicked for us like attacking or something and we blew them away. But to actually dig in like we did, it's kind of even more impressive and something that I'm even more happy about because to go there, keep a clean sheet, show a real dogged away performance. I don't even know we've had one of those at all this season. Like even all our wins away from home. I can't think of too many that have been of that kind of nature. So
Brentford, Sim?
Maybe Brentford. Yeah, Brentford, we won 2-0. So it's a rare occurrence, put it that way. And the fact that we were able to do it on such a big game with all our big players, especially defensively, really stepping up, showing that we can go to these away grounds, tough atmospheres, and not buckle under the pressure. That was just unbelievable. And I just think as you guys were saying, the outpouring of emotion, I think, after the game, I've never seen a bigger smile on Ange's face than I saw last night after we got through. I think we just see the relief. Like it was like a massive weight was lifted off his shoulders. You can see it. I think the last few weeks, you can see the pressure's been building on him. He's been acting erratically. He's been a moody git, let's be honest, in the press conferences. He's the pressure, even on the touchline. He's cut a lonely figure and a kind of disgruntled figure. And I think all of that got lifted yesterday. You can just see, I think he now believes, the squad now believes, and I think the fans are now starting to believe there's a genuine pathway for us now to win this competition. And I think the belief is really growing that this maybe we might have our name on it. Now, it's obviously, got 3 games to go to lift that trophy, big European trophy. But let's be honest, I know Bodo Glimt are a good side and they've beaten some good teams, but it would be embarrassing if we didn't beat them, let's be honest. As much as they're a good team, this is still a team that will be massive favourites against. And they did kind of squeak through yesterday. I know they did very well in the first day against Lazio, but they were 3-0 down and they got a late goal and scraped the on pens. So this definitely gives us a massive opportunity. Has to be seen as a massive opportunity to get to a final here. And then in a final, anything can happen. And if he does bring home that trophy, Ange Postecoglou, then no, I don't think anyone can say much because he would have won our first European trophy in 4 years. And just you can see how happy we all are today. And let's just hope we have 3 more nights as happy as we are today this season.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. It would be a massive embarrassment, but I mean, our history in the Europa League and UEFA Cup since we've been alive has just been full of massive embarrassments, hasn't it?
Absolutely. So yeah, I agree with that. It's not like I'm saying it's easy or like 100%. It's much we're favourites. How many times have we embarrassed ourselves in European football over the last few years? So this definitely not. I'm not sitting here saying we're definitely going to make it or anything. I'm just saying I think going into the Frankfurt game we were not overwhelming favourites anyway. But by going into this game we will be. And this is as much as they've beaten some good teams, like you mentioned, they also lost to Karabakh at home in the group stage. They have those kind of results in them as well. So they're a good team. They always give good teams a good game that I've seen. They lost to United, I think, as well.
3-2, yeah.
3-2. So look, I'm not saying they're not going to give us a game. I'm just saying if we're our best, we should really not have much trouble.
The Bodo manager was linked to Brighton. Brighton apparently were looking at him before they brought in Hertzler. Now apparently it was between Hertzler and him. So I mean, shows he's probably a very good manager.
Yeah, Brian, after you're probably doing something right, that's for sure. But yeah, I think over the last few years, even in the Champions League, they've gotten some really good results as well over the last few years. Obviously, this season in the Europa League, I think first Norwegian team to ever reach a semi-final. So credit to them. They are, and to be honest, they're currently the story of the tournament, you have to say, considering the size of the town they're from, the size of their stadium, 8,000 capacity. That's absolutely crazy. So fair play to them. They're there on merit. They did absolutely kill Lazio in that first leg, and that's why they're here. So fair play to them. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but I mean, I guess we said this in the Frankfurt game. We have to go there with a big lead, and it didn't happen, and we still went through. But obviously, I think going away to Norway, where in their home turf, where they'll kind of have the upper hand in I think that's what Lazio really struggled with, playing on that pitch. I think that is obviously something we're going to have to face. But if we go there with a big lead, hopefully we should be able to overcome it. But I just want to talk about more last night.
Just before you move on to last night, I just want to let you know, the population of Bodo is 42,000. The Spurs Stadium holds more than the population of Bodo. How mad is that?
They can fit their whole town into our stadium. They should bring them all along.
And there'll be 20,000 empty seats.
It's crazy.
That's
mad.
That's mad.
But anyway, go on. Talk about the game.
Yeah, no, just last night I thought the fans, as much as we've been fed so much negativity throughout the whole season, and it's been it's been a really, really hard season, and so there's been so much mudslinging from everyone and all these different things, and look, when you're where we are in the league, 15th, and losing as many games as we have, it's understandable. But I thought last night fans were fantastic. Some of the best I've heard them in a long time in the away end. I think they pretty much didn't stop backing the team throughout the whole game. They could really see, I think, the team were absolutely fine on the pitch. I think everyone could see that, and I think fans were really appreciating that. And despite the fact that we were, let's be honest, the Frankfurt fans were so loud, and it was hard not to be drowned out by them. It didn't mean they didn't give up the fans, I guess, and they just kept backing the team, kept supporting the team. And maybe they went into this game with a bit of, look, it's one more game potentially till the end of our season. Let's just give it everything. Maybe that's why it was so good, kind of nothing to lose mentality. But I thought the fans were brilliant, and it was great at the end for the players to come over, show their appreciation, and get that connection, start going again. Because let's be honest, we've seen over the past few weeks or this season how much toxicity has been building with the away ends and the fans and the players and the manager as well. And so to have that kind of lifted a bit yesterday, and have so much positivity flowing between the fans and the players yesterday was absolutely phenomenal. Shades of when we obviously when we were going through in the Champions League, how the players used to come over after those games, after those amazing victories, and it just built that relationship. It was phenomenal. So I think hopefully that carries on. But I would say, I just hope, we know we've got the massive games coming up in Europe, and if we're all being honest, we know the league is what it is at the moment. We're 15th, and we're probably not going to be finishing two different positions to that, whatever happens at the end of the season. So I do envisage Ange is probably still going to rest players in the league, especially after getting through and the importance heightening in these European games. So I do hope that if we do suffer some more defeats, we still get behind the team these European games, because I just hope that we don't let these more defeats maybe in the Premier League distract us from what really could be a spectacular end to the season.
Yeah, I do agree with that. I mean, obviously you get very frustrated after a defeat, and the Wolves was no different, and many other games have been no different. But when you have nights like that, I mean, I said to you in the build-up to the Wolves game, like, yeah, we might suffer a defeat at Wolves and we'll get frustrated and angry and whatever. But if we do go through against Frankfurt on Thursday night, then no one's going to remember the Wolves game. And I think that's pretty much how we're feeling today.
Well, you've already forgotten about Romero can never wear the armband, haven't you? So that's out the window. You can wear the armband every game now.
Romero was phenomenal last night. Yeah. He was phenomenal. Yeah. And you know what?
That's what we said, didn't we? We said that. He said, I bet you on Thursday he turns up.
Yeah. Yeah, and he most definitely did. Him and Van de Ven, I think that's the best I've seen them play together for a long time. Well, I know we haven't seen them probably play together very regularly over the course of the season, but in terms of a partnership duo, them two performed unbelievably well together, didn't they?
And this is, 100%, but this is what I've been saying. Ever since they've come back from injury, I know, the results since all the injured players have come back still haven't been fantastic, but when we have had Romero and Van de Ven together, I think our defence looks just so much more solid. And I think that's 4 games they've started together since they come back from injury. And I think it's 3 goals conceded. So I think, and also, you look earlier in the season when we had Romero and Van de Ven for the first, 12 games, and we had Vicario, I think it was 12 games, I think 12 goals conceded as well. So I think our defence, when them two have been starting this season, has genuinely been very, very good. And I think there's more proof of that yesterday. And I thought, yeah, the partnership was fantastic. And I also think big up to the fullbacks as well. I thought defensively were phenomenal. I thought Doggy, again, looking back to his best. I thought he had another phenomenally dominant display on that left-hand side. I thought Porro, obviously, I don't think offensively was at his best, but I thought wasn't a liability at all. And obviously, if one of those has a bad game, then let's be honest, Ange's going to be getting pelters because we've got Spence sitting there who's been phenomenal for the last 2 weeks. And in the biggest game that we have this season, to not play him, it has to be justified essentially because if one of those two has a bad game, it could be either of them because he can play left back or right back. If either of them have a bad game, Ange is going to be getting pelted. So the fact they both put in phenomenal displays is fantastic for them. And I think Ange will probably be breathing a big sigh of relief. But look, he did it for a reason. He must be looking at and thinking in training or whatever, and thinking however good Spence has been, clearly in training, maybe them two are still his preferred choice.
Yeah, I think you can have a problem with it before the game, but once it's all said and done, the first leg and the second leg, there's not really much to say about the fullback selection because they've both performed really well over the course of 2 legs. And let's be real, as however good Spence has been since coming in, these last 2 performances from Udogie have been better than what we've seen from Spence over the last 3 or 4 games.
Absolutely. I think Udogie's probably the form fullback at the moment. I think Porro is playing well as well. So it's going to be tough for Spence to get back in. But obviously, he's still going to be playing a lot. We are going to rotate heavily still. And look, let's hope we can start getting some positivity in the Premier League as well. We don't want to lose every game. But I'm sure he'll be back in the team there. But I think it was just so impressive last night how we stepped into that cauldron and we didn't buckle, which everyone expected, and which is what happens so often this season. So, I mean, I can't remember too many clear-cut opportunities that Frankfurt had. I think Christensen had a couple near the end, which, probably I would say mostly half chances, I would say. They're still decent chances, but he'll be disappointed how he took them. But other than that, it wasn't clear-cut opportunities. I know we didn't create much either, but it was just a very solid, professional away display in a big game. And that was so impressive. And I hope Ange looks at that and hopefully he looks at that kind of performance and tries to replicate it more often away from home when we can all agree that in a lot of games this season we've been way too easy to play against and way too easy to beat. And that's all a lot of fans, all they've asked for is, have a performance like that where, yes, even when you're not at your best, potentially going forward, when you're not playing your most free-flowing football, you can still rely on the team to maybe find a goal from somewhere and keep it solid. And I know maybe that's not Ange's perfect type of victory or his preferred way of winning, but it was so nice to see that we're capable of that.
When's the last time you've actually seen Spurs do that? Go away in Europe. Never mind in a big game like that in a quarterfinal, but just generally away in Europe against a good opposition and just shut them down like we did, as professional as we did. And just 11 Warriors. I can't remember the last time we've done that because even you look back at
Dortmund away, maybe.
Which one?
Dortmund away, maybe. We beat them 1-0, potentially.
Yeah, I mean that display comes to mind. I mean you look at the Champions League run. The Ajax game, the Man City game. They were all just up and down crazy games. I don't remember the last. Maybe it was Dortmund. Maybe that's the last time that we've done it. But it's not a regular occurrence, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So. Yeah, look, I guess people will question, was this, an Ange tactical masterclass? Is this the players just taking responsibility upon themselves to make sure that they're doing the right things, which maybe they haven't done enough this season? I guess we'll never really know, but all I know is after the game, Vicario sprinted over to Ange and gave him a massive hug. And we saw the video of Romero giving Ange a massive hug after the game. I think obviously a lot of the players were, but didn't seem to be much splintering between the players and the manager, evidently, after the game yesterday or anything like that. So that was really, really great. And let's just hope that is something that can be... Obviously, going forward, we'd rather win games more comfortably and by more goals and playing nicer football. I'm sure that's what Ange wants to do. But it's also great that in big game like it was yesterday, that we're capable of being professional and not crumbling. And that is, I hope, that Ange was one of the messages that we got from Ange yesterday to the players. I think that's crucial.
So talking of Ange, Sim, are you now back in the Ange in camp? Is that where you're sitting yourself now?
We're back, baby. We are back. Come on, people.
Just like you were never gone.
Oh, I was never gone. I was only loaned out. I was loaned out. I think Ange, till the end of the season, the wheels are very much screwed back on. They're not falling off by any stretch of the imagination. Those wheels are running. They're rolling. So we're back. Ange in. Come on. He's going to win us the Europa League. First European trophy in 4 years. I'm starting to believe it now. And I think, whereas maybe before last night, I was ambivalent to whether he should be here before the end of the season. I think whatever happens in the league now, you just got to give him till we go out of this Europa League until the final, and that's that. I think I just don't see whatever results we're getting in the Premier League at the moment. I know it'll be frustrating if we're still suffering embarrassing defeats and whatever, but even if we finish 17th, I don't really think any of us are going to care if we're lifting a trophy in Bilbao in May.
You know what, Sim? I said to you, I've said some crazy things this season, right? And I've said, if we win the treble and finish 17th, I want him gone. I said if we win the Europa League and finish 17th, I want him gone. But the more and more I think about it, if we go to Bilbao and lift that trophy, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what happens anywhere else, man. Win the trophy, and that's going to be our most successful season in our lifetime. That's what it's going to be. That's what it's going to be, no matter where we finish in the league. I know it's an embarrassment to finish 17th, and we should never be doing that. I completely agree. But I'm willing to put that all to one side if we can bring this trophy home. I really am.
And I just think the belief it will give the whole team and the club, and the happiness it will give the fans, will just supersede any league finish, I think, come the end of the season. Obviously, apart from relegation, which I don't think is ever going to happen. But I just think if we can win that trophy in Bilbao, it's going to be something really, really special. And definitely, obviously, it'll be the biggest trophy of our lifetime, biggest trophy in a lot of Spurs fans' lifetimes. So I think it'll be a phenomenal achievement, and hopefully it can be the start of something special. If we can, hopefully that trophy can be the start of something, not the end of something. I think my head tells me, even if we win, there's something telling me Ange might even resign, saying, "Here's my trophy in the second season. You can stick that up your ass. I'm gone." Yeah, he might even do that. I wouldn't be surprised. But there's still also a chance that Spurs, the club, might look at the season and go, "Look, thank you for the trophy, but that we can't be having that kind of league finish when we've got anyway." So even if he does win the trophy, what the club will do and all that kind of stuff, I don't know. It's all up in the air. But what I'm saying is, I'm happy to continue with him if we do win that trophy. And it looks like we've got a chance. And like I said after the Arsenal game, I wouldn't be surprised if come the Frankfurt leg, we're a lot better than we were, and we start showing better performances. And I think that's what it was yesterday. I thought over 2 legs, thoroughly deserved the victory. We're much better than Frankfurt over the 2 legs. I think maybe they were missing Mamouche a bit too much. I think potentially. I think that's what we saw. I think, as I said also in the preview, you shut down Ekitike, and there wasn't much. And that's what we saw yesterday, I think. Yeah. So there's going to be tougher tests. I think Bodo might be tough test in terms of what they offer going forward. But apparently they got 3 suspensions going into the first leg, so that's good. And then Bilbao's going to, if all Man United, whatever's going to wait for us on the final, if we get there, that's going to be the toughest test of all. So by no means have we won this tournament, but I don't see us ever having a better chance, to be honest.
Yeah, I completely agree. Brian, are you also creeping into Ange?
No. No. Listen, I don't want to get into this conversation because this is a day where we are praising Ange for a very good performance last night, and there's no getting away from it. I can't have this conversation based on one game. I know if we go on and win it, you were saying before when I said about when we started talking about who we could get, it was like, let's wait till we get there. Let's get there. Let's see what happens. But based on this season, I'm still not shifting. I still think if we get Champions League football, we need a manager to come in that can get the Champions League kind of players and play Champions League football. Because if we played the football we've been playing this season in the Champions League, we'll be embarrassed.
I'll tell you what, yeah. If Ange wins this trophy, I won't be Ange out anymore. But I won't be Ange in either. I'll just be like, you know what?
That's understandable.
Do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. If the club want to keep you on, I'll back it. If the club want to let you go, I'll back it too. So I think if Ange wins the Europa League, I'm at the club and Ange's mercy. I'll be happy with whatever happens. To be honest,
There you go. That's your.
but look,
at it.
that is what?
And the Ange clock is building week by week. Come on, people. I'm loving it. Loving every second. Let's get it back.
When me and Brian were walking into the studio today, I will give you a bit of a admission that I was singing "Angels" by Robbie Williams.
Oh my God!
He was serenading me. I was serenaded in the lift.
Hopefully, we're singing "Angels" in Bilbao.
Was there any Ange songs last night?
No, I don't think so. To be honest, I think it was mainly about Spurs and some of the players and whatever. I don't remember any Ange songs, unfortunately.
And you know what? I see Cantab in the comments calling me a flip flop, and I'm proud of it as well. Flip flop and proud. You know what I mean? So as long as we win that trophy, I don't care. You can call me any name under the sun. I'm gonna be, and we're all gonna be celebrating a European trophy. So who cares? Who the hell cares?
Exactly. That's the main thing, and it's possible. It's absolutely possible.
All right. Well, that is Sim with his reaction from the game last night out in the Frankfurt